You go. All right. Welcome everybody to the week one recap of Triple BT Beaver Benjo Ball Talk. Benny, how'd last week go for you?
It was a mixed bag. Fantasy wise, I went 2-0, and that's about where all the positives end. Uh, Prediction wise, I went 6-10, started off the week 0-2, which was not good. So it was not the best. And then coupled with freaking Jordan Love going down on that freak injury. Luckily, it's not season ending, but I don't know. Crazy stuff going on. It was a weird week.
6-10. Definite room for improvement there. It's week
That's
one.
That's what I said. Original prediction was I said I was either gonna go 10-6 or 6-10, win 6-10.
Right on. Okay. For me, the Beaver went 9-7, kind of right down the middle, just one above being 500. So I'll take it. Some bad picks in there. I did have the Titans beating the Bears. That was a close one. Me and Ben both had the Bengals. Everyone had in the world had the Bengals. Patriots went into Cincinnati and beat them. So 6-10 and 9-7. Beaver takes week one and has a 3-game lead on the season series after 1 week. All right, that's the recap of week one. Now we go into kind of what happened in week one. What recap hot topic do you want to start with?
Well, let's start off like linear. Let's go Friday. I think those field conditions were just horrible. I remember talking with you about it. You have a feeling, which I agree with, that that's probably the last time Brazil's going to have a game. And I agree with that. It was horrendous. The whole thing was weird. I mean, the writing was on the wall with that. I mean, there's memes about it since like it was announced with like cars getting wheels stolen off of it, the players losing stuff, crazy stuff going down there in Brazil. But I from the first snap, I knew that it was going to lead to an injury for someone on the field, and it happened to be our starting quarterback, which really freaking sucks. Malik Willis looked pretty bad. I mean, he didn't think he was going in, so there's also that. Not a lot of like, I mean, it's really on the fly. He didn't think Jordan Love was going to get hurt right then and thought the game was probably over. So I'm not going to go too hard on the guy. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, well, if we're going linear, that'd be Thursday. We'd go back to Thursday and start off. Thursday was a banger, great start to the season. Mahomes looked good. Lamar looked like he had a bone to pick with everyone that said that he was, getting soft or whatever. That guy was running through people, running into dudes out of bounds, trying to get contact. That Thursday game was awesome. Great game. I don't know why they weren't using Derrick Henry as much. I know in your
He's getting
prediction
older.
I know in your prediction of that game, you said that they were going to be very careful with Derrick Henry. You didn't think he was going to get a lot of carries. Ended up being a spot on prediction. Uh, Looks like the Chiefs got away with some wizardry again, getting Xavier Worthy. That guy's a menace. Scored 2 touchdowns. Mahomes basically,
Big F you to Buffalo for that one. Should have
yeah,
drafted Xavier Worthy, and would have been awesome to see him with Josh Allen, not going to lie.
that
But
Baltimore O line is gonna be scary, but also points to that Chiefs defense being
Chris Jones,
a
man.
Super Bowl worthy defense again. It's a really good defense. Rasheed Rice uh looked really good. My thoughts on the Friday game. J- Jalen Hurts and didn't look great. Kind of shaky. Them having Saquon is just insane. That they should have never let that happen. He looked amazing. Josh Jacobs in his first game left some more to be desired with that. He didn't look too good. Definite some room for improvement there. But yeah, it was cool seeing a Friday night NFL game and Jordan Love. Hate to see him go down, but that was overall a very entertaining game. The Eagles look real deal. They figured out whatever was cursing them the end of last season, so they're back. They're looking real deal. Uh Moving on to the Sunday slate.
The last thing I'll say with that game is like the reason the Packers shouldn't even been in that situation because the beginning of that game they were trading touchdowns for field goals, which was horrible. I mean, they had back-to-back opportunities inside Eagles territory. We're starting with the ball where they could not convert a touchdown, and that obviously kept the Eagles in the game and led to the comeback. And that was the biggest problem I saw with Jordan Love before he went down. I just wanted to go into a little bit more because I'm a Packers fan, but what can you continue?
Yeah, Mr. Matt kick a field goal to make a one-score game, a one-score game. LaFleur strikes again. He did it in the playoffs last year, 8-point game. He decides to kick the field goal to make it a 5-point game. Don't know why he does it. You just go for it, dude. Go for the touchdown, get the 2-point conversion. I don't know why you kick a field goal to make a one-possession game a one-possession game. That's gonna be something that he should work on and change because I do not understand that whatsoever.
We're in a
But
different day and age where like teams aren't scoring 20 points, 17 points a game. Teams are scoring 30, 40 points a game. It's easy to get on the field, score a touchdown. Like that might have been perfect in the 80s and 90s, but you have to go and make risks. And we see teams like the Chiefs and, like you said, the Eagles all the time going for it on fourth down.
no doubt. Well, those games were good. It was cool to see the NFL branch out. Cool to see the reigning MVP play the Super Bowl back-to-back Super Bowl champ, and the international game was awesome. Sunday, Patriots upsetting the Bengals was crazy. Caleb Williams, the only rookie quarterback to get a win in Week 1. Justin
Big
Fields,
asterisk there, 0 points by the offense.
yeah, Justin Fields gets the job done as the Steelers quarterback. Tyreek Hill gets arrested and then
Yeah.
goes and
And
puts up.
Calais Campbell, did you see that too? A little twofer. Calais
Yeah,
Campbell went to step in and they took down the big guy. Oh,
yeah.
I
The
don't know about that. Oh,
Dolphins looked pretty good. I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence, he's on a steady decline. He's kind of a shell of himself. He's not very good anymore. But we'll see. He might change me. It's Week 1. There's gonna be overreactions.
what's your thought on this? He's almost like he's very Derek Carr, like
Yeah,
Derek Carr esque in the way he
yeah.
does shit. Because he'll have some really bad games where you're like, who the hell is this guy? And you have games like that come back against the Chargers in the playoffs where you're like, dude, this guy might be the next Joe Montana or something.
For real, yeah. The Texans Colts, that was a banger. I think we highlighted that one as a sneaky game of the week. Stroud gets it done, but Anthony Richardson with that deep ball, that 60-yard deep ball where he slipped and just threw that thing to the moon.
That's
He looked
ridiculous.
really good.
What going off that? What is your game of the week?
Coming up this week, my game
No,
of the week.
from last week.
Oh,
From
from
last,
last week.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, that Lions Rams game, overtime, Lions get the job done. That was a pretty good one.
you can't
But
be an overtime matchup.
I wasn't able to watch the games too closely this week, to be honest. But I think either the Baltimore Kansas City game with that, Isaiah Likely toe being the reason for the loss. That I honestly think that Thursday night football game to kick off the season may have been my game of the week. What about you? What was your game of the week?
I mean, it's hard to argue with that with the sheer like star power in that game as well. I mean, for it to come down to the wire, you got arguably the two best players in the league and the faces of the league in Mahomes and Lamar. But also an overtime matchup is pretty hard to beat. And the Rams Detroit, since that trade's become kind of a classic matchup we're seeing, while those pieces are still at those two places. I would have to agree with the Baltimore Kansas City though. I think the star power is what puts it over the edge for me. There's a lot of
Yeah, I don't
guys
know,
there.
dude. Tom Brady Darnold going into going into MetLife and dropping 28 on the Giants was pretty impressive too, dude. He was
And
you were
before the
hating on you were
comment,
hating on him. You were saying he sucks. I was a believer. I said if anyone could get it, it's gonna be O'Connell or McConnell or whatever. Kevin's gonna be able to get Sam playing good ball, and he looked good, no doubt.
and I just had the AI take of, or both of us forgot that Aaron Jones was a Viking, I guess, last week. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have remembered that, I would have put a lot more stock into it. I thought, hey, maybe did I honestly, it's on me. Any faith in Daniel Jones is just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, Bo Nix looked pretty good in his start. Uh, up in Seattle. They made that a 6 point game. I mean, Nick's definitely had some rookie hiccups he went through. The Chargers take care of the Raiders. Gardner Minshew, I mean, Jesus Christ. But Herbert looked pretty good. He's finally got a defense. I mean, if he can score 22 points, he's gonna win a lot of games. I mean, they only give up 10 points. I know it's the Raiders. They're not a high powered offense. Devontae looked all right. Uh I forget who their
Add to that
back is, but
with
uh
that game. Sorry to interrupt. I think that's the rookie of the week is Jim Harbaugh. For
yeah.
him, I think he's not really a rookie. He's been a head coach before, but that was a pretty ballsy win. He made some plays or some calls toward the end of the game that were awesome. I loved it. The team seems to rally around him. His awkwardness is awesome to me. I like it.
Yeah. Cowboys look good, but it's September, so we don't need to talk about that. The Bucks. Bucks looked really good. Baker looked really good. Godwin and Evans are, I mean, like I think any quarterback would take those two. They're so solid, week after week. So that was nice. The Bucks looked really good. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels was electric factory. I think he had 100 rushing yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. He was doing
Dude,
everything.
my fantasy MVP, besides
Yeah.
Jake Moody.
Yeah, 26 points for Moody. Yeah, so I mean, obviously we talked about the Sunday night football game, Lions, Rams. Stafford looked solid in that second half without Puka. Uh, Cups back to his triple crown season. That guy 21 targets or whatever, 14 catches. Cups insane. I'd be curious to see if he could stay healthy with getting all that action. But I mean, that was a solid game. Any thoughts on that Sunday night football game?
Um, didn't watch the most of it. I was pretty burnt out watching the earlier games. I I obviously with I had Puka on my fantasy team, so that was a big loss for me. I was pretty
Yeah.
sad about that. But games like that, where I'm a Niners Packers fan, I kind of want both teams to lose. So I'm happy for the Niners and their standings that the Rams lost. Big week next week for the Ram or this
Yep.
week for Rams
Speaking of
Cardinals.
the Niners, we wrap up week one recap with the game 2 nights ago. Niners, Jets. I'll let you take the stage on that one. I'm sure you watched it.
Yeah. Eight straight scoring drives, I think at least for the Niners in that game. Back to business as usual in at Levi. Um, like we've been saying, it's just Super Bowl or bust this year. The offense looked good without McCaffrey. Brock really looked a little weaker without him. I think having a guy like that where you constantly have that like assurance that because obviously your boy behind you, Mason, had a great game rushing, but McCaffrey's receiving game is what sets him apart from everyone else. And missing that for a quarterback like Brock kind of stinks. I feel like kind of showed. But hey, eight straight scoring drives, they say eight straight scoring drives. I can't hate. I think they played pretty good. Aaron Rodgers is definitely showing his age. But it seems like the Niners didn't let that last season shake them too much, and I'm waiting for McCaffrey's return. And Huff, miss Huff
No,
too.
no doubt. Can't wait to see those guys back. Mason filling in was huge. He looked really good out there. Strong runner. I almost like watching him more than McCaffrey. McCaffrey's the most electric player in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but Mason he's fun to watch. A little more of a power back,
You can
but
see the
also
youth too because
yeah,
he's younger.
yeah. Okay, that is week one. I'm sure we missed a few things, but we will jump to week two. Uh, the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night, tomorrow night, take on the Dolphins in Miami. What are your thoughts on this?
All right. Um, I de- mm, hmm. I have it right now with the Bills sneaking out a win 27-24. I don't know if it's going to be that climactic as I have it, but I think the Bills are going to start off the season hot. I think it's going to flip last season, and then they're going to start to slow down. The Dolphins looked a little suspect. I'm not going to lie. Both teams have a lot to prove, so I can see it going either way. That's why I have it as a close game. Looking at the line for that game, what is it?
Yeah, I was gonna pull that up right now. My bad for
And
not
at
having.
48 and a half. Yeah, I have it clearing that just barely. So I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I think the NFL is going to want it to be after the kind of stinkers we had on Thursday night last year. So I think it'll be a good matchup. I think there's a
Yeah,
lot in obviously divisional matchup, always big.
yeah, potential for back-to-back Thursday night bangers with the Kansas City Baltimore one last Thursday. For me, uh I simply just have Miami winning this one. I think Buffalo gave up 28 points to the Cardinals and Kyler Murray last week. This Dolphins team is far better than that Cardinals team, and they're at home. Tyreek probably won't have any pregame mishaps coming off short weeks. I mean, this is a quick turnaround. They played Sunday, they play again Thursday. But I have the Dolphins winning this. I think they're going to score 3 or 4 touchdowns and hold Buffalo to not a lot of points. I think that will be a good one, but I have the Dolphins winning that one. Uh, that moves us to the Sunday slate. There's no Friday game this week. The first one on ESPN is Saints Cowboys. Is that all right to start with that one?
Yep.
Okay. That game is in Arlington. 6.5 is the spread. What are you thinking on that one, Betty?
The Saints can obviously score the ball. Like they did a lot of that. I mean, it was Carolina. A lot of people are dubbing them the unofficial second bye week of the NFL season when you play them. So there's that. I think it's going to be a relatively good game. I think Derek Carr is going to score a garbage time touchdowns to make it close. So I got 31-17 Dallas. I think Dallas is looking like Dallas. They're going to probably win a double digit games this year, make the playoffs, but do what they always do and choke. But I think they'll start off the season strong and get a win here.
Yeah, I mean 6.5 is a pretty solid, it's a pretty big spread for uh that Saints team who just scored 47 points. I mean, I know Dennis Allen, he gets some hate. Shout out Jay Kaner. Jay
Right
Kaner
here.
got some snaps. He got some garbage time snaps, made his NFL debut. That is awesome. But yeah, I mean, I have Dallas winning obviously too, but shout out Dennis Allen for the fact that he runs that score up, man. 47 in an NFL game doesn't happen often. And I think they were up 30-0 at halftime. So the fact that he kept scoring, shout out him for that. That's awesome to see. I like to see that a lot.
Original opponent, I say fuck them.
Yeah, for sure. So I have Dallas, Ben has Dallas. That the next game is potential game of the week alert. Potential game of the week alert. Here it is. Buccaneers,
Rematch of
Lions,
playoff
Buccaneers,
last
Lions, Buccaneers, Lions. What are your thoughts on that? It's in Detroit.
rematch last year's playoffs. I was rooting heavily for Tampa Bay that game. Rooting heavily for Tampa Bay this game. But I think Detroit is out to kill some people this year. So I think they're going to get a pretty decisive 28-17 victory against Tampa Bay. I think it's going to be a bit of a bad game for Baker. I hate to say it, I'm a really big fan of him. I just think Detroit's coming to play this year, and I think that they're really going to look for blood. So I got them sneaking out, or not sneaking out, getting an 11-point win.
Yeah, I think the sports books agree with you. It's Detroit minus 7.5. It's a big spread for a team that won last week. In the Bucks. In this one, I had let me see, who did I have? I actually had Tampa in this one. I have the Bucks. I have the Bucks winning this one. We do money line here on the Beaver Benjo Ball Talk, and no gambling advice. Gamble responsibly. No gambling advice here, but this is just our picks. I have the Bucks winning. I don't know why. I just think that that Tampa team is pretty hot right now. So I'm gonna ride the hot hand. Obviously, Detroit at home is a really hard team to bet against, but that's kind of what we have to do when it's this early. You got to take risks. You can't just take all the favorites. So I have the Bucks in that one. Then we go to Colts Packers. I obviously have the Colts winning this. They're going into Lambeau and they're beating Malik Willis. What are your thoughts on this?
That's what's going on in Green Bay. No, it's frozen. It's gone to hell in a handbasket real quick. I got us losing 31-14 to the Colts. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that good. I mean, 14's kind of generous for Malik. This is going to be rough. I'm maybe thinking about bringing out the freaking Browns paper bags, putting it over my head during the game. It's it's going to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, first 4 weeks of the season, I mean, if anyone can run the table, it's the Packers. I mean, they've been doing it since the A-Rod days. That's tough, though. I mean, it's just tough to lose your starting quarterback after losing a close game that, I mean, you could argue that they could have won that game in Brazil. They were playing really good football in that game.
Could have.
Josh Jacobs obviously gonna have to shoulder a lot of the load now that Love is gone. Let's see if they can get some momentum going with there. But this is a huge game for the Colts to go into Lambeau and get a momentum win with starting quarterback Anthony Richardson. Look for the Packers to try to take him out after they lost their quarterback. Maybe get a little revenge. I know it's not on the same team that did it to them, but we'll see. Then we have Jets Titans in Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, you know what happened with Will Levis last week. You saw that pick six. What are your thoughts on this one, Ben?
24-13 Jets. I have the Jets winning this one. Uh the Jets they're not a bad team. I kind of overreacted after that game. I was texting in a group chat with a couple of my buddies saying I'd pay them $20 each if they won more than 3 games. So a little bit of an overreact. But I think they'll get a win here. Tennessee, uh, Will Levis is all hoopla, bunch of hoopla. Not a whole lot of substance there. Um, Probably should just hit the hub, quit his NFL career and go get
Yeah,
the hub.
I see what you're saying. A little PS Will Levis, see if he can make a new career. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Jets take this one easy. Rodgers will have a great game. Obviously, Brees Hall had a good game last week. They didn't get Mike Williams involved like at all. They slowly are getting him back in, but Rodgers and his boyfriend Lazard connected for a few touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, I honestly liked Tyrod Taylor's drive in that game. He looked good. He was moving around. If Rodgers goes down again, they're in a lot better position than Zach Wilson. Okay, we both have the Jets in that one. Now we go to Niners Vikings at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Both teams are 1-0. SF -6. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think we are going to get a 30-10 Niners victory. I think Moody's going to keep on kicking. I think he's going to have to carry a lot of the load because they're not going to be able to. McCaffrey brings a red zone presence to the team, which is why he obviously scored a lot of touchdowns. And when you don't got that, you're going to have to kick a lot of field goals. That's why I have it 30. I think they'll at least kick like 3 field goals. 3 touchdowns sounds about right. And Sam Darnold looked horrible with the Niners. So the not Shanahan knows what he's going against. He's always pretty good against uh, systems that come from him. He always beats the floor, does great against McVay. So yeah, I think that pattern continues with going against Sam Darnold. He's gonna smoke him 30-10.
Nice. Yep. I have obviously SF in this one as well. I think Brock will they'll get the passing game going a little bit more. Mason last week, 28 carries. That's a shitload of carries. 28 is a lot of carries. Brock had 231 yards. He didn't have a passing touchdown last week, so I definitely think that the Niners are going to get that
This
passing
guy
game.
should have got a passing touchdown. He was
Oh
right
yeah. Yeah. So he's gonna have a good game. I think they get the passing touchdowns going. They get the passing game going. Niners go into Minnesota and roll out 2-0. Hopefully they stay healthy. I don't think McCaffrey needs to come back for that game. I think they keep him out another week. Then Seahawks Patriots, man, this is an interesting one. What do you think about this one? Patriots looked good last week. Their defense is nails.
there. And they got field general out there and Geno Smith. Or no, sorry, Geno Smith in Seattle.
Yeah.
Both teams got a field general out there. Jacoby Brissett just made the most of his opportunities and they snuck out a win. I don't think that's happening this week. I think Seattle's going to win 21-17. Um, I think they'll have a hot start to the season. I don't think this momentum will continue. They got to win against Broncos, which is a rookie quarterback, and they got pretty much a freaking rookie quarterback with Jacoby Brissett. So and they got a good defensive coach. We'll see a good defense against Brissett. So I think Seattle's going to win.
I can agree with you on that one. I'm on Seattle as well. I have them going into Foxborough and getting a gritty win. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a close one, but I have them getting a gritty win in Foxborough. And then I called, that Bucks Lions game might be the game of the week. We have moved on to the poop bowl of the week. Daniel Jones and the Giants are going to Landover, Maryland to Northwest Stadium to take on the Commies and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, he doesn't deserve to be in the poop game, but the fact that it's Giants Commanders, it is the poop game. What is your thoughts on this one, Ben?
I think this is going to be the welcome. Like, not a lot of spotlight was on him because he lost, obviously. But I think this is going to be his welcome to the NFL game where he kind of gets his name put out there for the world. I think they're going to win 31-6. I think the Giants maybe poop out two little field goals. But I think it's going to be all Washington. I think it's going to be
Did you
a
say 21 or 31?
31.
31-6. 25-point win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a big win for them. It's going to bring a lot of hope to the nation's capital. Had a dark time, obviously. So I got them winning
Yeah.
31-6. Commies.
Uh, let's see. I'm obviously on them as well. Okay, I have the Commanders winning this one. Jaden Daniels, I believe it's gonna be another breakout game for him. He had 88 rushing yards and two rushing touchdowns last week. Yeah, I mean, if I was Dayball, I would just tell Daniel Jones to go hit the streets and leave, dude. I hate that guy. He sucks. I hate him. I just he's so dumb. He's a big dumb dipshit. There's nothing else to say about him, dude. He sucks. So we have we have Washington beating them, dude. Fuck that guy. I'm saving my F bombs on this channel to specific moments, and that's one of them. Fuck Daniel Jones. Okay, we go to Charlotte, North Carolina. The Panthers. My second favorite quarterback, Bryce Young, is taking on uh the Chargers, Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. What do you think on this one?
Looking at it now, I think I have Carolina scoring 12 points. I think that might be a little too high.
That might be a little high.
I have the Chargers winning 28-12. The Chargers might even score more than that because Harbaugh might decide to unload the clip and let his offense swing. And I could see Herbert just launching some deep balls because that defense looks like Swiss cheese. So I could definitely see that being a lot higher than my prediction. But yeah, easy, charged up.
Yep, nothing else to say about that one. You know how I feel about the Panthers. Chargers get the win. Browns, Jaguars. I'll keep my eye on that one. That one will be an interesting one. The game is in Jacksonville, Florida. Uh, Deshaun Watson had 169 passing yards last week. I'm not sure how much Trevor Lawrence had, but I think it was less than that. The quarterback struggled week one big time. I think there was five quarterbacks that had over 200 passing yards or something like that. It was quarterback struggles all over the board last week. So in terms of this game, Browns go to Jacksonville, Florida. Both teams are 0-1, coming off a tough loss. The Jags are versus the Miami. They were in that game all game. They just got shut out in the second half. What do you think about this one?
I think Cleveland, at least most of the team, I know this is a hot take, is kind of just done with Deshaun. It looked like it on Sunday when they played. I got Jacksonville kind of dominating this game 35-14. I think it's going to be kind of a blowout. This Browns team looks like a shell of the team we saw last year. They just don't have a leader, and that's a big deal in the NFL. You need some guy who can lead the team. And Deshaun, eh, I'm not going to hate too hard. I saw they did lose his father over the last couple of weeks, so that's obviously a horrible loss. That's hard to play with, but then again, he's done some horrible stuff. But he's not good in my opinion anymore. He lost that God given ability that he had 4 or 5 years ago. I think they're going to lose this game 35-14.
All right.
Sorry. Sorry, Tom. That is
Sorry,
really short.
Tom. Moment of silence for Deshaun Watson's dad. T's and P's. T's and P's, Mr. Watson. Hope you're proud. All right. I have Jacksonville winning as well. I think they go in there and they're gonna massage a dub out of that Browns team for sure. Okay. Raiders, Ravens. Baltimore -9 in this one. They're at home. Lamar looked insane, likely looked insane. Lamar had 122 rushing yards. Baltimore is going to steamroll the Raiders. They're going to blow them out. They're going to boat race them. They're going to shut them down completely. What are your thoughts on it?
38-9 Baltimore.
38-9 Baltimore. All right, on to the next. Nothing else to talk about on that one. We go to the 3 o'clock slate, 3:05. Rams, Cardinals, NFC West divisional matchup. I have the Rams, obviously.
I have the Cardinals.
The spread is -1. It's essentially a pick 'em. It's in Glendale, Arizona.
If Marvin Harrison is really that guy, I think he's going to explode this week and have a huge game. Both teams are angry. Looking back on it, I maybe keep the same score, just flip the teams. I think this is a kind of a pick 'em game. Me and you have a lot of similar match or picks this week, so I'm going to go Cardinals to keep it a little different.
Yeah, this week's a lot. It's a lot more, mismatches this week. Last week was close. A lot of pick'ems. This one's a lot more mismatches. Oh, we have Steelers, Broncos. Broncos at home versus the Steelers. I have Pittsburgh in this one. Who do you have?
I have Denver,
Okay.
just barely 21-15 Denver. I think Bo Nix looked better than Justin Fields week one. The, the thing that's making me a little skeptical though is that Pittsburgh D is that Pittsburgh D. It's fucking stout. TJ Watt is not. I think that guy like almost like LeBron from the 2010s. Like that guy could literally be defensive player every single year of his career. Like TJ Watt is already Hall of Famer in my mind. That guy is special. Maybe rethinking this one, but like I said with the last game, I want to keep it different, so I'm going to go with Denver.
Denver. All right, we have Bengals, Chiefs. Uh, this is the last of the 3 o'clock slate. It's in Arrowhead. Chiefs -5. I'm gonna pick against the Bengals every game this season. I hate them. They suck. They're the worst team in football. I have the Chiefs winning this one.
I originally had this 37-31 overtime since he win. But looking at last week, I'm going to change that. And I'm going to go 31-20 Kansas City.
Well, dude, Joe Burrow sucks.
And he looked like he was hurt. So I'm going to go 31-20 Kansas City. That's not one of the ones I want to take a risk on. I think Kansas City's going to win. If I mess that up, that's on me. Fuck the Chiefs, but they're probably going to win.
Yeah.
I'm reserving my F bombs strictly for the fucking Chiefs, dude. So fuck the Chiefs.
Then we got the Sunday night football game. It's at Energy Stadium in Houston. Originally, my pick was Houston. Last minute flop. I am on Chicago in this one. I have Chicago to go into Houston. Everybody's going to be watching Sunday night football. Their defense is going to carry Caleb to another win. That defense is real deal. I have the Bears. Who do you have?
That is the hottest. I know the comments said lose the mobility. I'm being mobile after that one. What the hell? I completely am different with that. I think Houston's winning 34-20. I just, dude, Caleb Williams is probably going to end up being a really good player. But, dude, fuck that guy. Also, saving my phone for Caleb because him and I hate that guy. I don't think he's that good. I think CJ Stroud's going to light up the Stroud house and go 2-0, start the season, and bring Caleb back down to earth.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair pick. But I have the Bears. I think Caleb is going to get carried by his defense to another win. That Texans team is really good, but it's going to be prime time, and that diva Diggs is going to want all the balls, and Stroud's going to get pissed at him. So that's my thoughts on that one. And then we go to Monday Night Football. Kirk Cousins. Wow, we didn't even talk about him last week. He looked terrible. They're playing the Eagles. The Eagles are 1-0 coming off a long weekend, and they don't play till Monday. They had that Friday game in Brazil. Saquon, 3 touchdowns. Hurts, 278 passing yards, 2 picks. AJ Brown, 5 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Philly minus 6.5. What are your thoughts on this one?
I was saving Kirk for our final segment after this
Yeah.
game, so I'll wait for my analysis on Kirk. I think Philly's gonna win this game 30-14. It might even be a bigger deficit than that. I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a closer than that. So 30-14 Philly. I Kirk. Yeah, I'll say what I have to say about that for the next segment.
Yeah, I have Philly again. I think Philly is going to be one of those teams where you get to week 10 and they're 9-0 or they're 8-1. I think Philly is going to be one of those teams that just absolutely dominates early in the season, and then we'll see how they finish it. But yeah, I mean Philly at home Monday Night Football. That place is going to be going bonkers. I think Philly wins that game easy. I'd like Devontae Smith to have a big game. All right. That is the picks for week 2, and we recap the games from week 1. The floor is yours for the rest of the time here. What do you want to talk about?
This is the last couple things to discuss. I'd like to call this next segment surprise and flop. Each week we're going to break down our biggest surprise and biggest flop of the week. I'm going to go first with the flop. For me, Kirk Cousins. I had high hopes for Kirk. I you play a lot of Madden franchise, so my Madden franchise mind thought that this team was perfect and this team was going to go places. But Kirk, I don't know, dude. His age caught up to him like Matt Ryan on the Colts and Philip Rivers on the Colts. He literally looks like a Colts quarterback right now. So I'm happy for the Colts they don't have that anymore. But Kirk looked flat out horrible in the shell of his former self.
On that
After
subject, do we see Penix this year at any point? If
yeah,
you had to make a prediction right now, do you think Penix will play at any point?
asked me last week, I would have said no. This week, 100%. I think he's definitely making an appearance. Atlanta is one of those fan bases who's like surprisingly really loud. Well, not surprising for Atlanta, but just like because you hear like a lot of Chief fans, a lot of Niners fans, a lot of Cowboys fans. But Atlanta fucking lets them know when their quarterback's not playing good. I could see that Kirk. I mean, the only way I don't is they pay him so much. The best thing for Atlanta is if someone has a quarterback go down, it's like a contender and trades for Kirk. That's the only thing I best case scenario for Atlanta. But yeah, who's your biggest flop?
My biggest flop this week, aside from the Bengals, because we don't need to talk about that.
Well, that dude, they were just no. That was known. That's not even a flop.
Yeah,
Like
that was just a nothing burger. I'd say the team that I was like most excited for that disappointed me uh may have been I mean it's hard to tell. There honestly wasn't that many like real upsets, but I would probably say if I had to pick, it would be Kirk as well. I mean, he looks so bad, dude. It just like it was terrible to watch. So I'm gonna
he's
be
one of those dudes where
I'm
it's
gonna
like
be
if
unoriginal and go with you, but yeah, dude, it was Kirk. Kirk looked terrible. 10 points at home. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was brutal.
I hope it doesn't happen again this season, but yeah, this is one of those weeks where just some guy flops so hard. He's just the universal flop of the week.
Yeah,
Kirk by far.
I mean,
Um,
it was just terrible.
I'm just trying to even look. I guess the only other person would be Deshaun, but Deshaun was already on a downward projectile. So like,
And that Cowboys defense is I mean that Cowboys defense is really good. So uh I mean I wouldn't even really call it a flop. Deshaun is Deshaun. So
what about your biggest? You can just start with this one. What was your biggest surprise of the week?
uh biggest surprise of the week, my man, right up here. This guy.
Oh, Mason.
This guy, he found out he was playing on Friday and he let everyone know he found out he was playing on Friday. But the Niners didn't let everybody know until an hour before the game started. So that was my biggest surprise was uh Jordan Mason's career night ruined by some media. You saw him in that post game when he wasn't on the field after his shower and he was back in there, got the game ball, and he was all upset. He was sad. You hate to see a guy bummed out after a good night like that because he got chewed out by Lynch, by Shanahan for, you know, leaking the news that he knew Friday he was starting. So no, just his ability to, shoulder the load and just absolutely dominate was my biggest surprise of the week. I mean, I know there was a lot of other ones, but that was for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one's definitely a worthy one. Like that scenario though isn't that surprising to me because like McCaffrey is a big player. I would not want to let my opponent know that he's not playing.
Oh, for sure. That's why
Right.
they waited.
Yeah. Um. I mean, actually, before I get my biggest surprise, the kind of merger of the two for me with the surprise and flop. Thinking about it now, looking back at these stats, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Dude, I was literally about to bring that up. If you would have told me that Kyler in the Cardinals would score 28 points and Marvin Harrison Jr. would end up with one catch for 4 yards, I would not believe you.
Dude, that is outrageous. Like even I'm looking here, Malik Neighbors had 66 yards. Like even he had a freaking game, and the Giants had fucking 6 points.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with all that preseason nonsense of Marvin not signing the player NFLPA deal, like he has all these off the field antics. He doesn't run a 40 ever, and then
I'm gonna
he goes
start.
out and does that week one. I mean, Kyler's not really a type of guy that has the chance and ability to pick and choose who he throws to. He's going to throw to anybody. So as much as people want to say, "Oh, Kyler didn't throw it to him," I just don't think he looked very good.
I think that's gonna start to be a big problem because Brandon Ayuk didn't look that good either after coming back from all that holdout and doing all that nonsense. So teams are gonna start thinking about that when guys start doing that and be like, look at these examples of these helmets holding out. But I don't know. Still have hope for Marvin Harrison. So I guess that more falls into surprise. I was just kind of looking to see if anything else really sticks out. Um, I mean, I was just surprised too with how bad the Packers field was, or Brazil's field was, because that was just horrendous.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
with
like,
all the turf talk and all that bullshit that we've seen throughout the last couple of seasons, for them to go put them on that, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not lost
Uh,
religion.
I mean, you could definitely put that Bears game in the surprise of the week. I mean, I didn't think the Titans would blow them out. I don't even know if I thought the Titans would win that game. But seeing the Bears defense with the blocked punt touchdown and the pick six touchdown, like, I mean, that's huge, man. That Bears defense. I mean, Caleb Williams, 14 to 29 for 93 yards,
But Tennessee, like,
and they won the game. That's insane. That's like absolutely insane. They didn't score an offensive touchdown, still had 24 points and won that game. I mean, that was inspiring football for sure.
well, you have to think about it, dude. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Titans. I mean, it literally turned into this. They literally just went to hell. I
Yeah.
mean, who's their head coach?
I couldn't tell you, man.
Who the hell is it? Because that's the big thing. I don't think there's a culture in Tennessee. That's
There,
their
yeah.
problem. It does not look like there's a very big culture there at all.
Well, I mean, if you're a Titans fan, like if you look at what, you know, 3 or 4 years ago before COVID, like there was a lot to be excited about as a Titans fan. Tannehill, I mean, you might not be that excited about him, but AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, one of the best defense in the league, made the playoffs, and then now this is your
They
reality.
almost played the Niners in 2020 in the Super Bowl. They were had the lead and choked it, just
Yeah.
like
So I would be pretty pretty upset if I was a Titans fan. That's not ideal whatsoever.
dude. Who is this guy?
Oh, they fired
Bengals
Brady.
OC? No, Matt. No. Born in Champaign, Illinois, Brian Callahan attended De La Salle High School in California.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude! This freaking dude's from De La.
Safe to say, if you engage in sports betting, this is not advice, but I would bet against the Titans every week. That guy.
Wow. Super Bowl 50 champion with the freaking Broncos.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bill Callahan.
It says Brian Callahan here.
No,
Maybe
Bill Callahan's his dad.
who's that?
He was the head coach of the Raiders for 2 years and won a Super Bowl with them. I mean, Bill Callahan is I mean that guy is so there's a little nepotism that football family.
But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I went to De La Salle.
Bill
His dad
Callahan
played for the
considered
Raiders at the time.
one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL. Yeah. So I mean, oh wait, I think his dad is the offensive line coach now. I think his yeah, I remember hearing that. Okay. Yeah, so that's an interesting situation they got there. But yeah, I mean,
Whoa, yeah, the dad's underneath the sun.
yeah.
Pause.
Yeah. Pause for real, dude.
And
All right, well, that is the recap.
the
Thanks for
prediction.
watching episode 2, the recap of week 1 and preview of week 2. To all the loyal fans out there, we heard the critics. We tried to move around a little bit less this time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.